Hey, hello. Thank you for being here, and I really mean it. Um, so hi, I'm Mihnea from Pitești. Now this is a little town in Romania, close to Bucharest. This is where I grew up. I was born and raised. This is the Zodiac fountain. This is this post-communist cupcake I grew up in. And this is the view from my bedroom, and this is the first place I was taught to avoid risk. Because, of course, avoiding risk is great for survival, right? I mean, you don't just want to fucking go to a random group of people and just act stupid. You're taught to avoid risk for a reason, right? Risk is not good. Even in Milano, there's this place called No Risk Serele. Now, in communication, also, we're sort of taught to avoid risk because don't we all know it? Like, let's make something that everyone likes. And this is the reason why 99% of advertising fucking sucks. The moment you try to make something that everybody likes, you're just gonna wake yourself up with a notion of indifference. Nobody's gonna give a shit about what you do. So I like this quote from Rest in Peace, Heath Ledger, I cannot give you the recipe to success, but I can tell you the recipe to failure, and that is try to please everyone. I actually think it's impossible to avoid risk in today's communication. Now, even if you do something that sort of, it's cute and it doesn't upset anybody in any way, it's not going to get seen. It's the fact that it's not going to get seen, it's a bigger risk than any other risk you might take. Is there like a dee? Is there a weird sound, or no, it's just me hearing things? Okay. I gotta drink less coffee. Now, like Fernando Machado, the famed ex-CMO of Burger King, said, the biggest risk you can take nowadays is to not take any risk. So people who think we're gonna try to crawl on our bellies to avoid risk, they're wrong. Because no matter how much you try to avoid risk, you're still exposed to risk because the fucking internet. No matter what you do, there might be, some corner somewhere somebody's gonna come and say something you have not foreseen. And then shit's gonna come running down on you and you won't know what to do. So welcome to today's presentation called Love Risk, or why safety won't get you any attention in today's world. Now, there's a lot of tension and risk all the time. Like, it kind of makes us feel uncomfortable. You're like, you feel it like in your, in your liver, in your kidneys. But that's great. Because wherever there's tension, there's like huge fucking creative potential. But how do you get to love risk? You cannot just use it as a prayer, like I love risk, I love risk, I love risk, and expect for it to happen. How, and this is the million-dollar question, is how do you make risk love you back? Now, there's a couple of things we've been doing, and it's not really a recipe, but it's a few principles that I respect and how we sort of made risk love us back. First one would be speed. The popular belief is like, growing up in Romania and in Romanian advertising, we were always like, you have a week from the brief to the air on TV. Like, I'm not fucking kidding, 1 week. And we were working on Carrefour, on Nescafé, and so on. 1 week, the brief comes, a week later, you need to be on TV. You need to have an idea tomorrow, and then you need to somehow find somebody to shoot it, so in like 3 days, you're going to be on TV. Now, we were always looking outside, and we were looking at the likes of Wyden and Drogas, and we're like, fuck. You know, these guys have like a year to come up with something. It's amazing, you know? How amazing can that be? No, I actually think having a lot of time is bad for creativity. Because, you know, the more time you have, the more you have doubts. You overthink things. But like, maybe it's like this. Maybe you relax. You like chill. You go on a vacation to the fucking Maldives. You forget about what you need to do. So, I've always thought that you will always learn more from doing than from thinking about doing. The next is an example. So I have videos. Are there going to be like... Let's go.
Any team in Europe has a brilliant season. Whoever that team are, however small, however big, they get into that competition.
12 of the world's biggest and wealthiest soccer clubs have announced plans to form a breakaway Super League.
Founder members will be granted between 100 and 350 million euros each just for joining the competition.
Did these big clubs ask to their fans what they thought about this idea? No.
Absolutely disgusted.
If Chelsea go through with this, I'm finished with a football club.
You greedy gits, disgrace!
Heineken jumped on it quickly.
Money and designer for the ass.
Now, if you think about it, like, this was, wow. Like, I kind of liked it more with the dimmer lights. Can we just, because they still see me, I guess. I think it's for the stream, right? Anyway. Now, this was from 0 to live in 8 hours. Nobody had any fucking idea of what they were doing. You know, it was a very risky territory, right? Like, there was Super League coming on, and it kind of felt like this was going to happen. Now, there were a lot of tensions in there. We just proposed something at 12 at night, at 7 a.m. was live. So it's very interesting to just go like throw it out there and see what happens. Because the beautiful thing about the internet is that, yeah, you might do something wrong, and people are gonna hate you. But you know, the internet's memory is like a goldfish. They just go, yeah, fuck this thing, I hate you, oh, look, like a nice butterfly, this is very nice. So they will never, you know, like, it's not like you're gonna get written in history books and so on. So why the fuck don't we do things faster? Let's see what happens to the things we do. Now, the next very important thing to make risk love you back is that you always gotta pick a side. It's wonderful how in advertising we kind of feel like we're, you know, we're the people, like we're the, hey, you know, we're not pizza, you know, we're never gonna make everybody happy. We're not gonna make everybody love us. As a brand, you always gotta pick a side. Like whether, you don't need to the majority thinks this is right, so we are going to side with the majority. No, you as a brand, you're like a human being. You gotta pick a side. Whatever you in your brand DNA think that is right for you and for your communication. You gotta pick that fucking side and stick to it. So, this happened last summer. So this came out in July, because Heineken was like, yeah, we want social life to be back. You have a vaccine now, you can literally go inside bars and clubs, you can travel. We're like, let's do something about it. And it was not us pushing Heineken, it was Heineken pushing us. We're like, yeah, you guys sure? Let's go. All right. 1 week from the concept, they approved it, then we were on a shoot somewhere in Athens with the amazing Ali Ali. So then we kind of made it happen, and this was out, and then the next day, things started happening, because there was absolutely no media behind it, zero. And then the whole anti-vax population from different countries, there were literally people buying cases of Heineken just to throw them in the bin. That's very ironic, isn't it? Now, there were people pouring Heineken in their toilets, and my favorite is this one, because the DJ has a checker shirt. She actually has the producer's checker shirt because she had a shirt with a logo on it. And we're like, fuck, we cannot show any logos. So the producer was like, I have a shirt with no logos, but it was super dry, so we had to put it on the DJ, but backwards because there was the logo on the other side. And then they were like, no, it's the Illuminati, because the checker shirt from this girl is the Illuminati stage where the world leaders meet to decide our fate. And then the 666, if you turn, did you know that if you turn this Heineken can, the E's are 666, which was amazing. And of course, you look at this, and you, with half of your face, you're laughing. With the other half, you're freaking the fuck out. The stock price was going down. Everything was just, boycott Heineken was trending on Twitter. And there was a lot of anxiety inside Heineken, inside Publicis as well. We're just like, should we pull the ad? What should we do? We're just like, wait. We picked a side. This is what we believe in. Stick to it. Wait. And then the next day, boycott Heineken was trending on Twitter, and newspapers were writing about it. And people who hadn't seen this ad, who were pro-vaccination and they were vaccinated, because the data was showing that at least 50% of the European Union was vaccinated, and 60% were getting their first shot. So data-wise, we knew we have the majority on our side. So there's people they go I don't actually drink Heineken, but after seeing the madness on this hashtag, I'm just gonna buy Heineken now. And there's it was crazy to look at it and be like, fuck. These people just going, yeah, no, I usually drink something else, but this time, Heineken. Heineken it is. There were people from like Gen Z all the way to 60 and 70-year-olds. So, honestly, we're always afraid of this, but I beg you, always pick a puddle of love over an ocean of indifference, because that's when you know you're like making a dent in the zeitgeist. You're striking a nerve in the generation. So this is very important. Ah, so good nobody said anything bad about us. But did they say anything good about you? Kind of. As opposed to, a lot of people hated us, but there's like this group of people that really, really, really love us. So that's very important. Which leads me to the next one, which is bravery. Right? Everybody, it's like a buzzword nowadays. We gotta be brave. And then they go, but not that brave. Like, let's just be medium brave. Let's just be a bit brave. Can we be like how that brave, but tone it down to like an 8? No, this doesn't exist. You're either fucking brave or you're not. You're either doing, it's just like you're jumping off a cliff, right? Are you gonna jump or not jump? You're not just gonna half jump. You know, you're not just gonna jump like 2 meters down and then you stop and you go back up. You jump or you don't. And bravery is not liked by everyone, but it's loved by many. And these are the people you're after. These are the people you want to talk to. And it's very interesting because we always think about what could happen to what we think instead of like throwing it out there and see what happens to what we thought. And this is an example from last year, this year.
Have you heard of wardrobing?
A lot of people do that. They wear something once and then they return it.
This is a type of shopping fraud that 1 in 5 of us are guilty of committing.
Apparently it's a big problem. Retailers say that it costs them $15 billion a year.
It's highly immoral, in my opinion.
Items acquired can be returned, with all tags still attached and in their original packaging. All products offer bare identification label and must be tried on without removing the tag.
Guys, I'm gonna buy everything.
So in case of buying, wearing, and returning clothes, remember to enjoy before returning.
Now, you know, from the outside, you look at the diesel work and you go like, we can do anything. But it's not like that. It's not like we're like, here's the craziest thing we ever thought about. No, it's always has a very rational, business-driven, and very strategically accurate reason behind it. When we went to the teams in all the markets, this was live in 80 countries. Now, they were all like, fuck no, I'm not doing this. Imagine going to the styling department who designed, they gave their lives to make this collection look great, and we just go like, we're gonna tell people to return it. You know, and they were like, yeah, no, we don't like this. And then we had to make an entire, you know, presentation, like business plan. So like, remember the positioning, they enjoy challenging conformity. Remember when we came to you with Diesel and you said you're gonna bankrupt us? Yeah. Did we bankrupt you? No. When we did Hate Couture and you said, yeah, they're gonna burn us to the ground, we're gonna get sued. No, nothing happened. And then when we did Be a Follower and you're gonna fuck up all your influencer connections as a fashion brand, did that happen? No. All right. And then let's look at the data. 80% of the shoppers expect free returns. And what's very interesting is that loyalty comes from 89% of repeat customers who had a good return experience. They're gonna come back and shop in your place. So there's like literally, it sounds risky as fuck, but you're kind of safe at the same time. So they said, oh, okay, let's try. We opened it in one market, there was an explosion, and then 79 markets followed. That was for bravery, and now I'm gonna go into the last, my personal, two most important points in the quest of making risk love you back. First one is craft. And this we forget every time. Of course, we all deep inside want to make the best looking, sounding, work we've ever done in our lives. But something happens on the way. Nobody can really explain what or why. But craft is something we all kind of see as a utopic flag. Like, we got to make it, we got to execute it the best way we possibly can. But you need to think of it as a compliment. And your clients need to think about it as a compliment. Or if there's clients in the audience, your agency needs to think about it as a compliment, and so on. Because it truly is the best compliment you can make to your audience. This means that you gotta entertain the shit out of whoever's watching. You gotta make sure it looks good. If you cannot make it look good, write it well. Craft doesn't only mean make the $15 million movie that everybody's gonna be, you gotta write it well. You gotta say what you mean in the best possible way. So, for the next one, I'm gonna show you guys like a world premiere. This is the next Heineken film. It's gonna come out on Monday. It actually came out in Asia, because we've done a film for APAC. In case you don't know, Asia Pacific has been in lockdown until 2 weeks ago. So all our summer, when we were all going like, awesome, they were in lockdown. So we've made this film to celebrate the reopening in APAC. So if we can just let the lights down and put the sound up, please. This is the first time anybody ever sees this, so enjoy. Thank you so much. Now, you know, it's a nice love story. It's not gonna piss off the anti-vaxxers, so what's the risk here, right? I think when we talk about craft, there is the biggest risk of all, and that is trust. Now, before I moved to Milan, all my films were shit because I was a bit of a control freak. I'm a writer. So every time we wanted to write a film, be it Romania, like I've lived in some places before that. I've lived in New York, I've lived in Madrid, in Toronto, in Paris, in London. I was always way too controlling in the script because I wanted to. Giving too much details, no, and the camera goes like this, and then the person does this, and then like I was filling a script. It was like fucking Balzac, you know? It was not a script. It was an Amazon ebook reader experience. So I realized only in Milan that what I was leaving for directors was shit. It was like, okay, maybe I can pick the wardrobe and the locations. Fine. We're like, okay. And then in the end, it would be shit. Because it was like a vision imposed by people who've never been directors in their lives, who've never produced anything in their lives. They're just like, I want to see things based on what I've seen or what I think things should be like. So it turns out I was not a shit creative. That was a bit of a relief. But I was just a shit director. So this is what I'm saying, that you know, the hardest thing is to actually let go and to know when to trust the people you choose to craft ideas of your team with. Because craft is collaboration. Craft doesn't mean getting the best director in the world and just being like, see you in 2 weeks, ciao. You know, it doesn't mean the other extreme either. Like you get the best director in the world and you fucking tell him what to do, like he's your wedding photographer. Right? So you will never, and this is what I've learned from the first film I've ever done with the amazing people in Publicis Italy. You know, like you'll never be able to surprise yourself if you keep on like controlling on the thing. There's people out there who are way better than you and who know way better how to do their job than you doing their job. The moment you learn how to let go of that and to understand that we all work together, that's when you'll be able to create things that not only surprise you, but surprise others. Because if you manage to get surprised of your own work, I can bet your ass others will be surprised by it. Oh, I fucking love this one. Innovation. So now this is the fake friend. Innovation. We live, it's the best time to be alive, right? Like you look around and you're like, holy shit. This is amazing. The world is moving at a crazy pace and at a crazy speed. And like, I'm part of this. I create things that are gonna live on and inspire others in the future. I'm very happy and thankful to be alive now in this moment. But this is an accurate representation of advertisers innovating. These fucking two hamsters, my favorites. Look at them. Like, because there's this thing that I like to call innovatophobia. We are always in an agency, you're always afraid, you know, there's the metaverse coming, there's this, there's blockchain, there's somebody else is gonna do something before you. So you're always like, we gotta do something with blockchain. We gotta do something with metaverse. You gotta, you know. So we chase innovation so hard that we get locked in formats. I don't want to ruin your photo. Is that okay? Like, okay. I just want to make sure that I make it in every... Anyway. And then let's talk a bit about formats. We all know them. We have colleagues coming like super excited about an idea, and they go like, yeah, so then we're gonna get this influencer to go through blockchain, and then they're gonna do this, and they talk for like 10 minutes without blinking, and at the end of it, you're like, what? Like, what is the idea? What are you telling me? No, because we have drones, and then they're gonna come, and they're like, the moment you chase innovation for innovation's sake, you forget the most important thing that we do in our industry, which is to tell a fucking story. And it's amazing what we're doing, you know? And it's amazing that we have all these things, but formats will always come later. I need a story first. I need an idea. And then we're gonna, I swear to God, we're gonna make it into every single format there is on this fucking planet. Now, and in 10 years, and in 100 years from now. Because a story will always be the most important thing, the strongest thing in the universe. And this, for me, is the most important principle to learn how to make risk love you back. Because in a world of formats, just fucking be a story, guys. Thank you. And you know, I mean, this is a quote from my favorite writer, and we always forget this in advertising. We always think about, you know, we want to open the window and make love to the world. That's when our stories are going to get fucking pneumonia. Right to please just one person. It doesn't matter who that person is, because if the story is compelling enough, everybody's gonna fucking watch it. You don't need to have the Captain Planet cast in there. And for some reason, I don't know why we always go into like a diverse group of people, and everybody likes it. Let's just make let's show the whole world liking something in 60 seconds. This is terrible. nobody's gonna care. It's just gonna look like an ad. You wanna tell stories. Write to please just one person. For the writers out there and for everybody else who likes to tell stories, this is extremely important. So, as a nice roundup of all the things that I've been like blah, 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 for the past 30 minutes, 35, 40 maybe. Now, story first, formats later. We can tell a story and then we can go into the formats once we have that story done, locked in. We want to say this, it's going to be very easy to do whatever we want with it. Then collaborate to craft it as well as you possibly can. You will never be able to do the work of a director. You will never understand, even if you're passionate about it, you'll never understand art direction or cinematography as well as an art director or a fucking DOP can. If you're gonna be brave, go all the way. There is no such thing as, we want to be a bit brave on this one. This is stupid. Whoever says this, you're like, no. You want to be brave or you don't want to be brave? Like, it's going to save both of the sides a lot of time. Like, if you don't want to be brave, it's fine. Let's just make something nice. It's okay. You want to be brave, then let's talk about it. And the interesting thing, the context and speed can save up a lot from when you don't have resources. I was just in Colombia last week, having a very similar talk to this. And, you know, Colombia as a market is way smaller than the Italian market. But people are way more like contextual and fast and funny. And like, you know, when you come from a market that's, let's say, has less resources than the usual suspects, the big ones, right? You're kind of forced to find a way out. That's what creativity is, right? Is finding solutions to whatever fucking life problem throws at you. And sometimes context and speed can save up for a lot of resources that you usually don't have. You know, nobody has the Nike budgets or the Nike media, but sometimes we have the opportunity. We see a window, you go through it, and then the whole world talks about it. Always try to surround yourself with doers, not with doubters. Doubters are the people who sound very smart, and they're very smart, and they're very logical, and they're very rational, and you're like, oh, fuck, he's so right. Always surround yourself with doers, people who go like, oh, yeah, cool, let's do it. Because that's how you learn. The moment you over-rationalize something, there's just gonna take more and more and more and more time, and you will not learn anything. You will never learn anything from what you haven't done, ever. And, you know, embrace fear and anxiety. Like, the moment you do something that you feel uncomfortable with and you don't know, like you run an agency, it's your first job, you're about to get fired, you're a client, you're like, you wake up at 4 in the morning and you're like, I don't know what I'm doing, but it feels right. Embrace it, because this means you might be up to something good. The moment you go to sleep like, everything is fine in the world, then the work you're gonna do is probably gonna meet the ocean of indifference. And that's how you make risk love you back. Maybe. There's always this, you know, you never know. Thank you so much, everyone. We can do questions. Y'all want to do questions or something, or we just put the music and then and we go smoke and drink and forget this ever happened? I'm here. I mean, we can meet for questions and so on. Like, I don't know, is there a moderator with microphone and so on? Thank you so much again. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your night.